guys. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so very excited to be sharing this time and this morning with my friend Sandra Otero. As we get started, just a little background, right? So we met in, I think, maybe 2018.
Yes, a couple of years ago.
A few, right? I know, it goes by so fast. And we were connected from a mutual client. And ever since I met you, you've just, every time we have a conversation, I'm just like, wow. And you just have a spirit and an energy about you that I just remember you leaving. I'm like, who was she? Like this mystery woman. I'm like, that was the most interesting conversation that I've had. And every conversation after that, it was, I don't know, there was just always so much energy and
awesome.
Passion. And I always left feeling like, oh, I just love talking to Sandra. So, and we've had an opportunity to chat and do a couple of things together since then. And when I actually transitioned back into, or not back to, but when I got into originating on my own, I remember coming by your office.
Yes.
And you just, man, I don't know, you obviously you said some things that just like reaffirmed for me I'm in the right space in the right time, doing exactly what I need to be doing. And it just put me on a path. And I just want to share you with
share me with the world.
Share you with other
absolutely.
people, share that energy, share that spirit. And I think that too, the other day we were talking about how much we need something good, something positive.
Exactly,
right now,
exactly.
Right? And so before I'll stop rambling here in a minute, but I do want to introduce you in a way that really honors you and tries to describe you as best as I can, right? And then I'll let you fill in the blanks for everybody. But so you are a global certified real estate broker.
Yes, I am.
And you are behind Kingdom International Realty, based here in San Antonio, right?
Absolutely.
You have over 25 years of experience across finance, real estate, investments, and you serve clients not just locally, right? Mm-hmm. But I think one of the things that fascinates me is that it's across the U.S., Mexico, Europe, Middle East, Asia. And every time I've talked to you, you're like either coming or going out of the country, right? I'm like, how does she do it? And then the thing about you, right? So you're very knowledgeable, right? So you blend all of your market knowledge and all of that experience. You're not ever just talking real estate with anybody, right?
Yes.
So your clients, and I've witnessed it, right? Like they are super guided.
Amen.
By you,
That's
right?
Awesome.
And so on top of that, you blend this with just a faith-centered calling. It's very beautiful. You're supporting ministries, community banking, partnerships, charitable healthcare events. You're fluent in, Spanish, Portuguese,
English sometimes.
Obviously. Right?
English sometimes.
And certified in global real estate practice and international investments. The list goes on and on. You're constantly getting a certification.
Exactly. Always learning.
And you bring this refreshing, mission-driven approach to your clients. I've personally experienced it. I see it in action. And so welcome, friend. I'm just excited.
I am so excited. So thank you, Alicia, for the invitation. Yes. This is my very first podcast. I'm usually like to minister people one-on-one, not on a big audience, never in camera. I like to stay private and quiet. But the Lord had been telling me that it was time for me to be on a podcast and a video. And I'm like, how do I do this with my phone? It doesn't quite work out. Yeah. But thank you for giving me the opportunity. I want to first introduce why I brought all these crowns, right?
I was waiting.
Because I'm all about the bling. You know, it was so
Yes.
funny. We walked into the parking lot, and Alicia has this color, and I have this color, and we've got black on, and I'm like, the Holy Spirit is going to lead us. So he even color coded us, right?
He color coded us, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, and y'all, if you know me, like, I love black.
Yes.
I stopped apologizing about it because,
Yeah.
like, my whole wardrobe's black. Every now and then, though, like, I like a splash of color.
sprinkle.
This is as bright as it gets in my closet, though.
Yes.
And so I was feeling bright, and then I saw you, my friend, and I was like,
And I'm like
I
fluorescent.
feel a little dull now, but I'm like, are we matching colors though? Like, we're totally on the same scheme. So
We're on the same shade. But anyway, I wanted to bring some crowns today. So first of all, to thank you for allowing me to come and speak. And also, my company that I represent is called Kingdom International Realty. And I believe that the Lord gave me that vision because we serve at Kingdom like royalty. We want to make you feel like royalty. We want to make you feel special. I tell all my clients that it should be not a process. It should be an experience that leaves a lifetime. Yeah. You know, yesterday I had the privilege and the honor to go to a quinceañera, right? And it was the most beautiful thing because I was able to be at a quinceañera from a family that I did their first home, from an uncle, a brother, a compadre, another relative. And I sit there and I'm just like, Lord, I'm serving generations, right? And your heart is just full when you know that you're doing the work that God has called you to do, but it's more than just real estate. Mm-hmm. It's about lives that you're changing, right?
Yeah,
so that experience that you have when you work with us here at Kingdom and with me and the group of people that work with me, it is all about that, right? We're here on earth with a purpose, and if you don't know what that purpose is, then reach out to me privately and we can pray about that. But I know exactly what my purpose is, and I walked in the other day and I got to meet with one of your beautiful, beautiful partners, and I told her, I said, you know, the reason why God blesses you so much in your business is because you don't separate it, right? And a lot of people say, how are you so successful? I'm like, I pray and I say, Lord, get me out of the way like we just did, and let it be you that shows off. Of course, we have to have lots of education, lots of learning. Where did Kingdom come from, right? Where did Kingdom International Realty? I have had lots of experience in the real estate world and a lot of other things under my belt, but God gave me a word. And he told me, you're about to take this to another level. He spoke to me in 2017 through an apostle mother of mine. And real estate is never not about God because it's not really my idea.
Yeah.
You know, you said, let's have a podcast. And I'm like, what are we going to speak? I said, we're going to talk about Jesus. We're going to talk about God. There is no defining me. There is no separating 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. No, like I'm 24/7 in and out. It's always about Jesus. It's always about doing his work. And so where did it come from? You know, you said, hey, friend, where did Kingdom come from, right? The Lord spoke to me through an apostle mom, and she says, you're going to open up your own branch. And I said, I've had a bunch of companies. I don't really want to have a branch. I don't really want to have my own office. So back in 2017, the Lord gave me a word. And in 2021, I was looking at my Secretary of State documents yesterday, and it was March of 2021 that the Lord told me, this is the name of this company, that company, that company, and this, and this, and this, and this, and that. And I went to my CPA, and she's also a woman of God, and she says, you know, I'm going to be walking in faith, but these names are very common. What are the chances of having Kingdom International Realty available, right? Because there's a million. And guess what? It was available. And all the other corporations that the Lord asked me to open. I don't know about you guys, but me, sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm not ready. So this word came, and I acted in faith in 2021, but I didn't open the actual company this past year because I was a little resistant, right? I'm like, the economy, real estate right now is changing. Is it really time? And then in October, the Lord really set me on fire, and he said, you're being disobedient. You've always walked with me, and for me to walk with you, you got to be obedient. So our office was opened in January 1 of this year, and so we have a beautiful office here in San Antonio, but the story started a long time ago,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so we're here to serve. We're here to serve the community, not only through real estate, through encouragement,
Yeah.
through the word, through our
Yeah.
faith,
Yeah.
through motivating each other with, when you're having a bad day, call me.
Mm-hmm.
I had an agent who I reached out that I haven't talked to in a long time, and she says, "How did you know I needed
That
your
call?
message, that call?"
Yeah.
Yeah. And we all need that call.
We
all need that word of encouragement.
Yeah.
We all need in this time, in this season that life is complicated. Sometimes I'm like, Lord, can I just put on your crown today and just say, Lord, I'm royalty. I'm uniquely and wonderfully made, and I can handle this.
Yeah.
Because sometimes behind the audience or behind the microphone, you look all put together, but we're all human, right? So we got to put on our crown and say, Lord, lead me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guide me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I always mention that as I'm having interviews or talking with people, just because a lot of times, to live and choose to abide and not separate yourself and be in the Spirit and incorporate that into your business. These things are a choice.
Amen.
Just as much as it is a choice to face challenge, it's not to say you don't have challenges. It's not to say that not literally, but the house is falling apart. But there's things that that are complicated in our lives. There's things happening, and despite those challenges, it takes an enormous amount of courage and faith. And how can I put it? Like almost like you have to allow yourself to release.
Absolutely.
And it's not to say that there's not fire happening behind us or when we're walking out the door. It's just that you have to intentionally make the choice about what you can control.
Absolutely.
And how you want to serve, lead, guide yourself, allow yourself to be guided. I always try to remind people, like, because I hear it almost all the time, like,
all the time.
Your post and this and I'm like, well, I appreciate it. Thank you. It takes work. I can't even describe to you the amount of anxiety or fear or
my God.
all the things that I have to gear up to and decide, do it anyway.
Absolutely.
Just do it anyway. And because it's not for me.
Exactly.
The whole point is that it's not for me.
Absolutely.
I want to help connect people, resources, community. And, we're not, I always think about, like, in this industry, it's not competitive because there's so many people.
Absolutely.
There's so many people, right? There's no lack of relationships that you can build.
We have an abundance of business.
Yes.
Yeah. Remember when we first talked, Alicia, I said the Lord gave me a scripture and it says, be courageous and do not fear. Right? There's so many scriptures in the Word that talks about fear. And if he talks about fear and to be courageous, it's because he knows that we were put here on earth and we're going to have these challenges, right? And in San Antonio and in Texas and the local market and America and the economy, we want to honor the devastation that we recently had in Corral. So many lives were changed. So many families lost their loved ones. We have fires going on in Utah. A friend of mine said, Sandra, let's start praying for the people in Colorado. Apparently there was a mudslide. There's tragic events that are going on every single day. But then I also have a client that's going through a divorce. And that's her tragic event, right? Yeah. That first-time home buyer that came in yesterday and said, I've had 7 foreclosures because I've had from A to B to Z these death medical conditions. And it's just the grace of God that she's alive, right? Yeah. People we are people, we are his children here on earth, and we go through stuff, right?
All day long.
All day long. So we cannot be working in fear. We have to be here to motivate each other, encourage each other, lock each other's arms and say, you know what, be courageous and do not fear. And if does that mean that we show up at an open house and we start praying for people and have a Holy Ghost kind of event like our last open house, or just hang out for an evening and just talk about how good God is, right? In the world where we still have to work, we still have to be a mother, a wife, an aunt, a brother, a sister, a loan officer, a broker. When you have everything put together, you have a loan that just showed up and you're like, oh my God, where's the clear to close? And something else shows up, right? So we cannot be in fear. Putting on this podcast, you know, we either do it or we don't, right? So we got to walk with that faith and that knowing that God is with us. If he put us on here on earth, he put us with a vision and a mission and a purpose. And that's what just drives you the next level to get things done where naturally we wouldn't want to get it done.
Right. And I think that that's so important, like what you said, and important to point out too, because not everybody is in a position where they feel that vision, that mission, or purpose. And I know for some people that can feel like, well, what about me?
Exactly.
Or I'm left, or so that I'm not worthy of that, or,
Correct.
you know, the feeling of loss or unaccounted for or something. And you know, my big word and something that I've been sharing a lot lately is I didn't understand the power of the word intention.
Correct.
For a long time, you know. And that whole verse, you know, knock, seek, and you'll find. And it'll be shown, it'll be given to you, right? A lot of times we're not intentional with the question. It's not enough to say, well, I don't have this, or I don't know what I want. Spend a little time asking the question.
Yes.
Spend a little time. It can be very uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
When we start to dive in and reflect or look inward to try and find that thing. What's our purpose? It can be really uncomfortable to get past ourselves, but I promise it's there. And it'll show up, right? Yeah. And it's always about when we're ready. So that's the other key thing, right? Yeah. If we're not ready to receive something, if we can't let go of something, you know, you have to allow to start with that open slate.
Absolutely. I think that starts out, Alicia, in the morning. I start out with gratefulness, right? I'm just grateful for everything. I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful. There's some people that didn't make it last night, right? I'm grateful that I have children. I'm grateful that I was barren at one time and now I have a granddaughter and I have heirs, right? I'm grateful that I'm able to produce because at one point I was told I was 100% disabled. I'm grateful that I can run a business when at one point I couldn't even read and write, you know? So we have to be grateful about the little things. It's the little things that encourage us to do the big things, right? Yes. And when we go through life not knowing what the vision and the purpose is just be grateful about the little things, and those little things will start to amount up to the great things, right? Yes. Grateful that I have a car. Grateful that, sometimes I have people that say, well, it's too far. I can't go there. I said, it's not like we're walking there. We get in a car, we put gas. You know, I have ministries in third world countries that don't know a car. To show up to church, to show up to work, to show up to school, they have to walk. There's not even a bus in some third world countries. So when we complain, I don't want to go because of the traffic, or I don't want to get started, or that client may not have good credit, or maybe that client's not ready, or maybe those numbers don't show up. There's vehicles that God has already given us. We just got to be intentional and get up and do it. Faith without works is voided, right? Yes. So that's a word, and that's a scripture in the word that tells you, you have to make the decision, put that and say, you know what, I'm going to wake up today, I'm just going to be grateful. Yeah. I'm going to do something about today. And if I'm giving the grace to have one more day, I'm going to leave my fingerprint on humanity. And it's not going to be broke, busted, disgusted, depressed. No, it's going to be about, I'm going to leave my fingerprint on humanity. And how am I going to do it? If it's just a mom, I'm taking my kids to school and I'm preparing heirs for the next generation. If it's a grandma, I'm just going to help, mentor a young person. Or if it's a business owner, I'm going to make sure that we're here to that customer that needs us, or to those employees or those contractors that need us, or a loan officer, providing those seminars that, hey, I'll share a story with you, Alicia. In the 25 years I've been doing this, I had one client that he was almost 74 years old, and somebody told him he did not have good credit. Mm-hmm. And that was like years ago, right? And then when I had his closing about 10 years ago, he's my oldest client, right? Yeah. And he had 835 credit score, but he just didn't know, right? Mm-hmm. So making the decision to make a call and say, hey, you know what? I need prayer. I need a consultation with you. Right. I need to learn more. We're just talking about continuous improvement, educating ourselves. Just make that decision, right? To live, make that decision to get up and say, I am just grateful. Yeah. Whether it's through your faith, whether through it's the universe, whatever it is that you have or you believe in, you need to just get up and do it. Right.
Yeah. Enjoy where you're at. Embrace where you're at.
Exactly.
And it's and to that too, right? Sometimes I talk to clients and they feel like they're stuck or they're trapped. And you got to encourage people. Like I've seen some super well qualified people.
Yes.
And they're not making what they should be making. Right?
Correct.
And it's like you said about the gentleman with the 800 credit score, and he didn't know, right? And I had a conversation with a client, and I thought, wait, your background is this?
Yes.
And you have this many years of experience?
Yes. And why are you there?
Why haven't you looked at, or have you considered looking at? And it was, it was a matter of, client came here. It was a rush. It had to happen fast, and she took the first thing, but she stayed there.
Yes.
And I said,
staying stuck.
Honey, you're 20 grand under.
Correct. Like, staying stuck in a rut. You can't have that.
And so to be able to talk to and it doesn't matter, clients, partners, anybody, right?
Correct.
So wherever you're at or whatever you're doing
in life,
right? Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if you're doing check-in, dishes.
Correct.
Serving anywhere you're at, you have the ability to serve and help and be a light, right?
Yes.
And the opportunities are all around you, because when you allow that to shine, I think like really amazing things happen.
Absolutely.
So
put your crown at whatever level. If you're in the baby crown and you're just starting out in your career, put on your baby crown and just say, you know what, today I'm going to be in the baby crown. I'm a student and I'm going to start in the baby crown.
I wear a baby crown.
Yeah, right. We're just in the industry. You put on your little crown because that's what I need to do. And as you move up and you get to the big crown, then you're like, hey, I have more responsibilities. I have more, in order to shine more, you have a bigger audience. Right. So don't let life and the environment and the situations and the economy and the rates and devastations overwhelm you.
Paralyze you.
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's the other component, we talked about, is that in the midst of all of that, it's so easy. It's so easy to lose yourself.
Absolutely.
And when we are not intentional or thinking about it or connected to our thoughts,
absolutely,
unknowingly we let ourselves slip into just almost like a trance. And if you're not intentional about what you're doing, trust me, something's taking up your time, your space, your thoughts. You know what I mean? And so it's so easy to lose 45 minutes. And that's 45 minutes you don't get back, but there's 45 minutes that could have served you so much better, and helped you serve somebody else so much better.
Absolutely.
So, I love it. But yeah, we could go on.
You know, it's so funny because when you come and you hang out with us, you're just going to have a casual conversation, but we're going to get deep at every single level.
It's true.
But we're here to motivate and encourage and make sure that you know that you're not alone. Be courageous and walk in faith, walk in strength. Reach out to us and know that we're here for you as a resource.
Yeah.
And we're just going to continue to spread that message. You're not alone, locking each other arms in arms. And no matter what situation, and the victories when we hold that sign and say, oh my God, it's closed and funded. A client of mine said, oh, I love that post and I love all your every post. I said, but don't ever forget the story behind that sign.
That's what I mean.
Because some of those closings took 7 months to close, people. Some of them took 7 months. You know, international stuff sometimes takes 2 years to close.
Yeah.
Commercial stuff starts feasibility study at 90 days. So by the time we get to that sign, somebody had to be courageous. Somebody had to lock arms and say, you know, we're going to get to the finish line. Push to the finish line. Don't give up. If your day to day is not working out the way you think, don't give up. Push till the end of the day.
I know. It's so awesome and so beautiful. I think that, you know, it's so funny because I had a list of questions in mind for us that I wanted to cover, and but we've touched on so much just like organically and just I love it. So let's talk. I'm just kind of curious, friend, because you're everywhere, right?
Yes.
You go to so many different places. Tell us about a little bit about international real estate.
Yes, absolutely.
Tell us about that space, and I think that it's so neat that you don't just stay in your backyard. You know, you're doing things in ministries in other parts and connecting other people, and so share a little bit about that with us too.
Absolutely. I believe that because I'm a Christian and I believe in Jesus. He was a great connector, and so am I. And if I'm his daughter, I'm a connector. And he gave people assignment in different territories, and my assignment is an international assignment. So through Kingdom International Real Estate, we support lots of ministries. I have another ministry called Christian Ministries Association, where we set up orphanages and come alongside churches. I was an orphan, so God has called me to set up orphanages. I was actually homeless after my mother passed away and my grandfather died. So now we set up housing for people who may be in a transition in third world countries. I align myself with ministries locally. I have my largest ministry in Venezuela. We have almost 100 people that we support. We have about 50 children that are now graduating. We had one that graduated with his master's this past week. And we help the indigent, the elderly, the widow, the hungry, and the poor. Through real estate, God has called me. I took a very intensive 3-year training on learning international economy, learning how to do developments and properties in other countries. And that gives me the opportunity to travel. Every 6 weeks, I have my bag ready and I'm ready. I'm either getting on the plane or off the plane. Alicia calls me and tells me, hey, friend, are you on the plane or off the plane? So literally my bed right now is laid out with all my stuff that's going to be packed tomorrow morning, because on Sunday, I'll be on a plane to Mexico City. I just got off a plane from Cabo San Lucas, and we were invited with some developers from Cabo San Lucas. I sit on the San Antonio Board of Realty, a global chair, so it gives us access to a lot of investors. But the real estate gives us the resource, so then that way we can turn around and funnel it and put it back into the community. So it goes back to what we were talking about. My vision is where I came from, right? So my vision is to plant not only in real estate to help underprivileged children and communities develop. And so it's not a coincidence that my career is in real estate. You know, the chef usually has a heart to serve and feed, right? My son is a chef, so he loves to serve through feeding people. So where your trial came out of, God turns it around and turns it into a testimony. And sometimes people say, I don't know what my vision is. Well, let's see what you're going through, because I know God's going to turn it around and turn it into a strength. What you see as a weakness, God is going to turn around and put it as a strength, and he'll take a trial and turn it into a testimony. And when you think that you're like Cinderella and just dusting the ground, you get some resources. You know, you marry a prince, you hit the lotto, or you sell a big island in Panama, you've got a lot of more resources to turn around and help the community, because everything we have here on earth is temporary,
It's
right?
temporary.
We're going to leave it. So just find where you're called to serve and you go from there. So that's how Kingdom International Realty started. The Lord told me to open up the business because I was already traveling. 25 years ago, I went to Europe on a anniversary, and I figured out that Europe's children speak 7 different languages. And my kids only knew one, Taco Bell and bean and cheese. So shame on me. But my granddaughter will learn the languages. And so anyway, that's how it started. I wanted my children to have a cultural experience. I started hosting students from all over the world. And in a matter of 3 years, I had 25 countries celebrating Christmas at my house. Wow. So my children and my family are very international. We're very global. What I didn't know that what my heart's desire was to teach my children different cultures 25 years ago was going to lead to where I'm doing global real estate. So I'm telling you, this global real estate did not start now. It started way back when. And when I was a little girl, and I'm going to maybe date myself. I don't know if you remember, Alicia, and you're a little bit younger than me. When I was little, my grandma bought an encyclopedia. There was a man who not only would knock on the door and collect his 25 cents for life insurance, there was an encyclopedia man that also would collect his 10 cents for encyclopedias. And my grandparents were poor. So we got the A and the W. That was the 2 encyclopedias I got. You know, the W was a gift because she got the A. So as a little girl, I remember learning geography and the World Almanac, and I literally would sleep with the W open. Wow. And I remember my grandma would say, "Te dormiste en el libro otra vez?" And I'd have the imprint of the world on my face. So this ministry international stuff did not start. Feeding children in third world countries, we did it in the South Side here in San Antonio. I didn't know I was poor. We had a little basket, and she would make all these tacos, and I'd have to give them to the poor people. It wasn't until I went to an Ivy League college that I figured out I was a minority. I'm like, what? I'm poor people? What happened? What do you mean I'm a minority? What does minority mean? Wow. The professor said, you're getting a scholarship because you're under this, income level. I'm like, what? Wow. I didn't know I was a minority. So what I'm doing now did not start now. Yeah. So for you guys that y'all feel lost, what you are doing, even since you were little, is where God is going to take you. So global stuff started when my grandma could only afford the A, and I got the free W encyclopedia. The feeding the children started when my grandma would make tacos, and we would give food to the elderly in the community around me. My ministry to give clothes and shoes and backpacks all year round, not just during backpack season. And back to school. So we do have an initiative. We'll take backpacks all year round. Started when I would give my shoes, go to school, and come home without a backpack. So it started way back when, but now I'm living that what God put in my mother's womb, like it says in Jeremiah, right? He put it in my mother's womb, and I was created for this. So I live a life with fulfillment and purpose because I'm living out what I was created to be, right? Yeah. Yeah. Giving free food, giving my chanclas away, giving my jackets away, sleeping on an almanac. So the funny thing is, after 6 weeks that I'm not on a plane, I start to itch, and I start getting I'm like, oh, Antsy. I'm like, Lord, send me. The world is calling. And then when we show up, we do real estate, we do ministry, we get to make connections. There's either connections for developments, for real estate. There's connections to help another ministry, another small church. There's never a million people that I don't connect with that either needed a prayer, a word of encouragement. Even at the airport, I travel with all types of people, and some of them are spirit-filled and some of them no. And some of them, they're like, there she goes again, right? And it's normal to me, but it's fun when you're at the airport or you get in the plane and the airplane pilot comes in and God has a word for him. And he's like, I said, we're safe. I'm on. The angels just said we're good to go. So, it's kind of fun. If you like to travel and you want to have fun spiritual travel, come with me and we'll have a great time.
I love it.
So my trip starts on Sunday. I'll be gone for about 14 days. Wow. But the great thing is that God
asked me to open up my brokerage because now I have a team. So we
Yeah.
have a team that stays behind to take care of our clients. Somebody told me, how is it that you're traveling still able to do closings? I said, because I have a whole team behind. It doesn't seem like I'm traveling because I'm always on my computer. I'm always on my iPad. And I have a whole
always
system set
connected.
up. Yes.
Yeah.
Whenever you're in business or whenever God calls you to do something at a higher level, he says that he's a God of order. So set your life in order. Start now, maybe just with organizing your shoes, your clothes closet, your spices, and before you know it, he'll organize your corporations, your CEOs, your ministries. Like, I am a woman of order. I knew last night this was going to be the outfit. I knew my hair. I knew the lipstick color. Like, it was already laid out since yesterday. Start that order. Just do that little extra. So that's where Kingdom, Sandra Otero, Christian Ministry all puts together. We put on our crown, and I'm always dressed up. I don't ever dress down, and it's not a problem for me on Casual Friday to walk around with the crown. I mean, it's just normal for me because I represent royalty, right? Casual Friday should be that way.
That is so awesome. So I had a ton of questions, but honestly, friend, I feel like you touched on everything. I mean, we touched on mindset shift and just your
Order.
partnerships.
Yes.
Order. I loved what you just said. So what is your specific message to agents out there that might be struggling or in need of, do you have a word for
Yes.
agents or
Yes.
buyers that
Yes.
you want to share?
So I'm going to give a word in general because we are in the real estate space. This will apply for the real estate agents or the loan officers or the insurance agents. I'm just going to say it's general. Seek God and lean not onto your own understanding. And in all your ways, follow him. I don't know if you ever get that phone call, Alicia, that they'll say, oh, I want to become a loan officer because I see blah, blah, blah. Or I get that call, I want to become a realtor because HGTV and, Beverly Hills Realtors or Miami Realtors. I tell them, not every woman looks like Victoria's Secrets. Seek God and know that you're supposed to be where you're supposed to be. If he tells you to be a stay-home mom and homeschool, do it with excellence.
Yeah.
If he tells you to be a loan officer, don't give up. Just like the spiritual muscles that we have to pray and fast and seek God, you have to do your calls. You have to do your meetings. Don't give up. If God told you to do it, follow through it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So many times I'm like, Lord, really, really, did you want me to do this? He's like, yeah. And then he'll send that. And I'm like, okay. He says, Sandra, preach what you just talked about. And so just like working out every morning, right? It has to be very consistent. So that's the message. Whatever career field you're in or whatever situation you're going through, seek God about it. Don't do it because she drives a Lamborghini. Don't do it because that realtor always gets to hang out and do selfies. This is a podcast and it's real. Yeah. But unfortunately, a lot of stuff in social media that we see is not real. Yeah. Not everybody looks like filtered, right? Not everybody, you can edit all the flaws. Life is messy. Yeah. And we have flaws. I have flaws. And so if you seek God, he's going to put you exactly where you need to be. If you're a student and you're like, should I go to college or should I go to beauty school? Honey, I love my hairdresser. She's never gone to college and she's done it since she was 18 and she's the best.
The best.
I love my mechanic. He didn't go to a university, but that man can fix my cars in ways. Not everybody is meant to do what's on Facebook, right? If you're struggling with your weight, not everybody needs to look like a Barbie. If you're struggling with your health, then, seek wisdom, seek God, and all things will be added. Get a nutritionist, a dietitian. That's my word. Seek God so that you can be put in the path that you're supposed to be. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have some resistance. Right. Because even at the gym, when you're trying to take it to the next level. You know, I'm going from 5 pounds, I'm moving up to 7-pound weights.
Right.
Friend, I'm at 7-pound weights. Oh my God. Right? 7-pound weights. For a bodybuilder, y'all are probably laughing. But for me, that's a big accomplishment because I started a month ago. You're going to do what you preach, and I'm back doing weights, right? Because I used to lift weights a long time ago. So I'm at 7-pound dumbbells. If that in life, that means your 7 calls a day as a loan officer or your insurance agent or your 7 meal preps because you're trying to lose weight, or the 7 prayer calls that you need to do, or your whatever it is, set those goals no matter where you're at and be consistent.
Discipline. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. I love it.
That's it, friend.
I love it. It's so good. So we're going to wrap it up. This is so rich. Thank you so much. You know, my goal is always that the interviewer, the people that I bring on, help shine a light, a word, encouragement, connection, network. So what's the best way for somebody to reach you?
So you can reach me by my cell phone is 210-663-6706. I'm always on WhatsApp. I'm always on Telegram. I'm always traveling or local or teaching or preaching. I return every single phone call. Alicia's my accountability. She knows that she sends me a message after I live here. I've got 2 cell phones. I have my laptop, and I will return every single call. I'm about customer service, making sure that you get connected and responded. You can contact our office. You can go onto my website, and no matter what time, what morning, what moon, what night, we're available. If it's for business, if it's for prayer, if it's for encouragement, if it's for direction, for guidance. I'm also a life coach. I'm also a minister. I handle a lot of hats. Know that obviously we're talking about real estate, but we're here to even talk about life. If you just want to come into my office and just hang out and talk about life and say, you know what, I need some guidance, some direction, we're here to serve. You know, the bottom line is you. The bottom line is you. If you're good, then all things will be added onto you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
That's it, friend.
24/7, like the Spirit.
That's it. Friend, I want you to put on your crown
let me
and
have a
encourage these
crown.
people. We're going to put on our crown and just thank you, Alicia,
Thank you,
for this
honey.
great podcast, this great interview. I hope that we can do a series. Audience, please send some requests. Please send some feedback. If there's something that you'd like to learn, we want to do a monthly series on how can we help you? As women, as business owners, as mothers, as entrepreneurs, as grandmothers, what is that we can come to serve, teach, preach, encourage, talk about? If it's organizing your closet, organizing your life, organizing your pantry, you know, what is it, your business? What is it that you need? We're here to serve. Jesus said that we didn't come to be served. We came to serve. And today we're here to serve you.
100%.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you. I'm so excited.
God bless you.
Absolutely.
Have a
Thanks,
wonderful
guys.
day.